Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair. And this has been on the back burner for a while, hasn't it? Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the second legendary Godzilla movie following the events of Legendary Pictures' Godzilla from 2014. The American Godzilla movie that was actually relatively well received. I mean, outside of all the complaints that for a Godzilla movie, Godzilla was hardly in it. Even though, going by most Godzilla movies, that tends to be the case outside of GMK and Final Wars. In any case, 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters takes place 5 years after 2014's Godzilla. Monarch has discovered a veritable treasure trove of Toho monsters kicking around all over the place. However, nefarious forces seek to unleash all the monsters. Oh, if only there was one really damn big, important monster to beat the crap out of them. A king of the monsters, if you will. And the only way we're going to find out is if we spend at least 90% of the movie focusing on the human characters anyway. So, let's take a look at Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and see if we Americans can keep from screwing things up too badly a second time. We open up to a little refresher of exactly what Godzilla is for the three of you out there who don't know. A big fucking lizard monster that stomps the shit out of cities, which has led to the tragic death of this family's son. But that was 5 years ago, and things have moved on. Yeah, disasters are common and the giant monsters seem everywhere, with governments wanting them hunted down and killed, but Emma Russell, played by Vera Farmiga, still has her daughter Madison, played by Millie Bobby Brown. Seems that Mr. Russell, Mark, played by Kyle Chandler, is not in the picture though. He's taking pictures of wild wolves.
Have you responded?
Not yet.
Madison, I just don't want to see you get hurt.
I know.
Especially with everything that's going on right now.
I know.
So he's not there anymore, but he is still talking to them, but she is upset with him keeping in touch because of how he broke ties and... Well, let's just say their relationship is complicated.
You're sure he's gonna be okay?
He is in the safest place that he could be right now.
Surrounded by vicious predators. Besides, they don't need Daddy. They got MacGuffin. The Orca, a handy-dandy little briefcase doohickey of Dr. Russell's design, created for the sole purpose of communicating with the Titans with their own language, as we see when she deftly uses her scientific wizardry to calm the aggressive, violent, and dangerous Mothra larvae. Probably wouldn't have to if the twin fairies were kicking about, but oh well. But who needs magical fairies singing songs to gargantuan grubs when you've got explosions? As a small army busts in and slaughters everyone! Led by Alan Jonah, played by Charles Vance. Well, everyone except for Emma and Madison, that is. Enough of that crisis situation, though. It's time for Monarch's crisis. The government isn't happy with them. Promised to rid the world of giant monsters, but they're off doing icky things like studying and thinking about long-term when Uncle Sam wants a body count. Well, that's lovely, but we got a super important message and need to just fucking leave because we have to find Mark. Surprise, your ex-wife and daughter have been kidnapped by a terrorist organization and we need your help, I guess? They got the Orca thing, too.
She believed that if we could somehow replicate the biosonar the Titans used to communicate...
I know what the hell it is. I helped build a prototype.
So before the nature documentary gig, you were an audio engineer, scientific marine biologist, computer technician thing? He helped build it to be used to prevent whales from beaching themselves, with the idea that it can be used to control titans? Well, that's some playing God that Mark just can't get on board with. No sirree, I'll have you know, nobody should have that kind of control. Ignoring the fact that the Orca is currently in the hands of the aforementioned terrorist organization.
But if we find the Orca, we'll find your family. I promise.
Okay, so now you care, Mark? Because 20 seconds ago, you seemed perfectly content to just throw them to the wolves. Pardon the phrase. So begrudgingly, Mark will help save his family, I guess. But now on board with Monarch, he learns that there are ass tons more monsters than previously thought. Well, fuck it, Godzilla killed his son, and he wants them all dead! Dr. Serizawa, played by the only Japanese man in Hollywood, Ken Watanabe, tries to tell him that there's good and bad monsters, and a balance to be struck. But Mark doesn't care.
Some benevolent.
Don't kid yourself.
So Godzilla stepped on Andrew. It was for the greater good. Anywho, welcome to Castle Bravo, Monarch's Godzilla tracking base. Though right now they're hard at work trying to figure out where Emma and the Orca have been taken. They are certain that the terrorists are trying to do something nefarious to the monster from the facility they attacked, Mothra.
What the hell's someone gonna do with a giant worm?
Hear me out? The biggest goddamn bottle of tequila you've ever seen. But Mark interrupts this military briefing. The commander is stupid! This is obviously some kind of diversion that the terrorists are pulling to distract them while they go off after their real target.
This is not the first specimen they've captured. They know what they are doing.
That's not just a specimen. I've got an ex-wife and a daughter out there, in case you forgot.
Oh yeah, in case they forgot. Mark, you just remember to care about them your damn self.
To remind you, you were brought on here to help track the orca and to advise us on
I
how you-
advise you to kill these things, all of them, especially him.
Come on, guys! Stop thinking ASPCA and start thinking Independence Day!
Emma wouldn't have wanted that, even to save her life.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time Emma put all of this before herself. Or her family, would it?
Mark, to remind you, you love your ex-wife and daughter, don't you? But what's this? Mark was right, and Jonah's little band of eco-terrorists are heading to Antarctica instead, slaughtering everyone in the way, because their real target is in fact down there, and ice cold.
Monster Zero.
All of the energy with none of the sugar and only 10 calories. While they work together to crack open a cold one, Castle Bravo falls under high alert. It appears as if Godzilla is coming closer than ever before. Does he intend to attack? Can't be too careful as they load up the weapons to defend themselves.
We don't know he'll attack.
Well, he will if you keep those guns on him. I want him dead more than anybody, but unless this is a fight that you know that you can win, for God's sake, stand down.
Thanks for the moment of clarity, Mark, but didn't you just shout at everyone in the other room about how you definitely want this monster dead? Now it's like, oh yeah, I guess I kinda want him dead, but it's not the most important thing in my life, you know? Thus, they follow the random civilians' commands and disengage.
Open the shields.
Okay, Mark, why don't you just ask everyone to put their hands on their head and hop on one foot while you're at it? The commander knows who's in charge here and heeds Mark's words. They see Godzilla flashing off a threat display. But for who? Not to worry, for Mark is here to figure that one out. They can track Godzilla's trajectory, compare it to his usual route, and use that to determine his destination.
Antarctica. Good then. I mean, let's go. Let's go find him. Wait. What's in Antarctica?
Aliens, predators, the thing. Generally not nice stuff. Therefore, they all hop aboard the Argo and fly towards their new destination. This here Monster Zero isn't getting much lore dumped on it just yet. Something about people being so afraid that they just couldn't write it down. No bother, that's not going to stop them from sending in an ass ton of heavily armed, highly skilled Monarch soldiers to kick some terrorist ass. But what's this? They all walked into an ambush being gunned down by the dozens. This looks like a job for Mark. Rushing in, he arms up and easily finds himself in a standoff with the big bad. Now all his family has to do is calmly walk over and they're fine. But wait, Emma instead grabs the detonator.
I'm sorry. Run.
That's one way to encourage your partner to get back into cardio. So he must run! Emma blasted the detonator, breaking the ice apart and releasing Monster Zero. Thanks to the power of the hand-in-hand orca, which Emma expertly utilizes to rise the beast out of hibernation lightning quick. That's right, kids. It's the big bad three-headed monster himself, King Ghidorah!
Oh, shit.
Who, thankfully, looks an awful damn lot like King Ghidorah. I guess they figured if you're gonna pay ass tons for the rights to use the monster, don't give us the great value version of it. Unfortunately for them, that means there is a giant damn monster trying to kill them. But that's nothing you can't fix with another giant damn monster showing up as Godzilla enters the fray, smashing through the Antarctic, kicking their vehicle aside. Thus, they gotta get out and hoof it if they want to survive. Meaning that Dr. Graham, played by Sally Hawkins, ain't gonna be in any more sequels. But then the Argo flies in, shooting the shit out of King Ghidorah, because the humans are weirdly effective in the American-made Godzilla movies, and Ghidorah flies away. Can't have a movie if they slaughter absolutely everyone just yet. So now we're back to trying to figure out where the monsters are, but also, what's gotten into Emma and why is she trying to raise them all? To answer this, Emma calls him out of the blue. Surprised! He was working for Jonah all along. Mankind is a disease, and giant fucking monsters are the cure.
San Francisco, Las Vegas, wherever the Titans go, life follows, triggered by their radiation.
I got a sneaking suspicion this bitch doesn't have a clue how radiation works. But it's only through destroying everything can the world prevent its destruction. Live in balance with the Titans, unlike Monarch, who, well, they want balance too, but their funding is shit, so it's probably not gonna work. And then it's the military, and then you know they want to kill them, so fuck you, Monarch. Anyway, gotta go. Lots of monsters to resurrect. Try not to die, okay? Releasing into the helpless village, Rodan, who again looks an awful damn lot like Rodan, which is now leaving me even more confused that they didn't have the 2 magical fairies. Oh, was their asking price too high? Ghidora's coming in as well, bringing in a whole damn hurricane with. Thus, Mark deciphers the connection and knows what to do. They gotta taunt the beast and lure it as far away from the populated areas as they can, heading straight for its battle with Ghidorah. Now that the big monster problem is kinda taken care of, what's this? A spare Osprey is calling for help. They are in danger and have evacuated children aboard, but oh darn it, the Argo's hangar doors are jammed.
Alright, which way to the hangar?
Okay, Mark, you don't have to solve literally every problem, you know. First things first, though, the military is like, thanks for the help and all, but remember that oxygen destroyer from the original movie? Well, we just invented it, and we're gonna use it to kill everything, so try and get out of there, okay? Back with the hangar doors, the hydraulics are down, and they don't have time to fix it. Not to fear, for Mark is here, and he quickly smashes the doors open just in the nick of time to save all of the evacuees. For a couple of seconds, anyway.
Oh, God.
Until Godzilla shows up to save the day! Just seconds before the oxygen destroyer missile is going to arrive, so, nice knowing you big guys. Does anyone have a spare Mechagodzilla prototype in the back or anything? Godzilla does a good job beating the crap out of Ghidorah, ripping one of its heads clean off, and then they get hit by that oxygen destroyer, which easily takes Godzilla out. And does next to nothing to King Ghidorah. Great work, guys. Movie's only half over and you've killed the main character. Heck, even the damage Godzilla did is nothing thanks to Ghidorah's super regenerative powers. Next thing you know, giant damn monsters are rising from every Monarch outpost.
I thought we were going to release them gradually, one at a time.
I'm not the one doing this.
Yeah, well, the movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and even then you were taking your sweet-ass time, so things gotta move, okay? Looks like old Ghidorah has taken over the whole monster awakening job, and is far more efficient than Emma ever was. But oh, that's right, while all these monsters are breaking free, there just so happen to be one very important monster encased in a little, or enormous cocoon over here. Mothra. And while I'm still frustrated at the lack of fairies, at least her theme music returns for this section. But there's still that nagging question of why the oxygen destroyer killed the shit out of Godzilla, but Monster Zero was relatively unscathed. That's when we learn, surprise, that three-headed bad boy is in fact not of this Earth. Who could have guessed an alien species was found frozen in Antarctica? On the plus side, this means that technically Ghidorah is an invasive species upsetting the balance, and Monarch can go full steam ahead trying to murder the shit out of it and not come off as raging hypocrites in the process. Good thing too, as the military is here, and they are pissed. All the Titans are loose, and they're destroying everything. Even worse, their behavior is completely unpredictable.
If I may, sir, as amazing as this sounds, they're moving like a pack. They're hunting.
But you can always count on Mark to just waltz on up and actually the military tacticians into their place. Mark believes that they are all respecting the big ol' alpha monster Ghidorah, so all they gotta do is knock the Hydra down a peg, and the rest will just listen to the new alpha instead.
Ghidorah and Godzilla's rivalry was ancient and unique.
Right, so we killed our best shot at beating this thing?
Well, if you motherfuckers would put your faith in Gamera, we wouldn't have to worry about little inconveniences like this. Also, yeah, Emma wanted to restore balance, and even to her, it's pretty clear that Ghidorah is just going to kill absolutely everyone and everything, so she figures maybe they could use the orca at the baseball stadium to broadcast a calm the fuck down signal or something. A conversation that Madison conveniently overhears over an intercom system that for some reason is just on. So she's got her work cut out for her, but hey, that's nothing Mark can't help with.
I can't just sit down there, I gotta do something. Like what? Like go find my daughter. How?
Where are you gonna go?
Just hop in the VTOL that he already knows how to operate and fly straight to her on a mere guess. How else? But before the Osprey can take him somewhere, Mothra shows up, shining for all to see.
Beautiful.
Mothra, Queen of the Monsters.
Are you recording this, Stan?
Mark, how the hell did you get back here so fast? She's singing, and luckily for them, Mark is there to point out that therefore she must be speaking to one who can understand her, and as luck would have it, hey, Godzilla's not dead. The OxyClean has failed again. But Gizzy Zizzy's still very hurt and barely alive.
How many nukes do you have?
Why?
Because Mark knows the key to restoring Godzilla. Of course Mark knows fucking kaiju first aid. Grabbing a nuclear submarine, they head out. It's at this point that Mark is having a bit of a crisis of character. I mean, yeah, he knows how to save Godzilla and thus the world, but we previously established he hates the thing and wanted him dead. Not to worry, Dr. Serizawa can offer him words of encouragement about facing our demons by forgiving them and all kinds of profound-sounding rhetoric.
Did you just make that up?
No. I read it in a fortune cookie once.
Writers? Fortune cookies aren't Japanese. They're Chinese. Well, they're American, but they're supposed to be Chinese. In the meantime, Madison remembers she's Mark's daughter and, as such, easily slips through the heavily guarded bunker, breaking into a storage room to raid a few handy pieces of equipment before just walking the fuck into the operations room and yoinking the completely unguarded MacGuffin and then just leaving, walking completely out in the open, unimpeded and unchallenged towards the baseball stadium, which is being used to evacuate citizens. Martial law being declared and all, but that can't stop Madison from just walking right the fuck past them and into the completely unguarded control room. But what about Mark and friends in the sub? Well, on their way to Godzilla, they found the sunken ruins of an ancient civilization. But this place is just full of life-giving radiation, so they can't get too close without dying horribly. But wouldn't you know it, their weapon system is borked and not even Mark can fix it.
I go.
What the hell does that mean?
It's self-sacrifice, a hero's death. That, and if they actually had you be the one to come up with a plan, I'd hate you even more, Mark. They've got time, though. Madison got out that alpha signal, instantly calming the kaiju. Which is the one fucking time Jonas and Emma realize that, hey, the orca's missing, as well as her daughter. Oh, well, point is, in a bit of inverse of the original movie, Dr. Serizawa must go in nuclear warhead in hand and sacrifice himself to undo the damage of the oxygen destroyer by blowing Godzilla the fuck up! That, healing explosion kind of way. Allowing Godzilla to feel so damn good, he stands in Godzilla knows what to rise far above the ocean surface and show off his atomic breath. But then, he spots the humans.
Nobody move!
He can't stomp us if we don't move. Godzilla and Mark just kind of look at each other before Godzilla swims off.
Are you okay?
I know how to find them.
Of course you fucking do. Hey, why not just design the flying laser drill submarines while you're at it? Everyone already knows that both Ghidorah and Godzilla are heading straight to Boston, but without the missing piece of the alpha signal, they just can't pinpoint it. For some reason. But what's this? Mark has the missing piece. The sound of humans!
The creatures just think it's another apex predator.
That makes sense. I mean, we are a bunch of horny, murderous carnivores.
It turns out mankind was the real giant sitting stomping monsters all along. So while Godzilla fights Ghidorah, Mark can find his daughter, and Emma can find her daughter. And their daughter can find out that maybe sticking around the monster lore wasn't the best idea. Godzilla's fashionably late, so for now it's Madison versus King Ghidorah. Not to worry, Mark Jeans in her, even a giant chunk of concrete is but a minor bump to her. But when Ghidorah stomps the orca, well... Okay, I can't be the only one who just imagined Madison unleashing her own atomic breath there, am I? Naturally, Godzilla arrives in the nick of time, and they do battle! But before you start thinking this is a standard climactic battle, think again. The movie pulls out a trick from the Godzilla vs. Destoroyah playbook, in that the nuke was a bit too potent, and Godzilla's gonna go boom any minute now. That's not gonna stop Mark, though. He has a daughter to save. Not so bad. He doesn't just have Godzilla on his side, but Mothra swooping in to save the day. But what's this? Rodan has also joined the fray. Oh well, can't find Madison, but Emma is here, and maybe the two of them can finally see eye to eye and work together for a common goal.
I hope you're as good at finding her as you are losing her.
I didn't lose her. She ran away.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
I can't blame that kid. If I had these two for Paris, I'd run away from home too.
Mark can do literally anything under the sun. Track kaiju, help invent kaiju-controlling boom boxes, outthink the greatest military minds of the world, work military equipment better than the military can. But he just can't seem to please his wife. Well, I guess it is a little easier to find Godzilla than it is the clitoris. But that's it! She must have gone home! Or what remains of it, anyway. So while they head off, the kaiju continue to fight. Godzilla is holding Ghidorah off, but succumbing to his overcharged energy as time goes on, and Mothra is pinned by Rodan. Oof! A light prick! My one weakness. Also, we learned that on top of tornadoes and earthquakes, we can add kaiju attacks to the amazing list of disasters you can ride out in a bathtub. If only Godzilla was doing so well. Being hauled into the air and slammed into the ground. The lizard's on its last leg. But wait! Mothra is here to fight in his stead! Well, I guess we won't be seeing her other forms. So all hope seems lost. But wait! Mark is here to save the day! They have the Orca. Yeah, it was stomped on, but Mark can pull a soldering iron out of his ass to rewire it in the middle of a rainstorm so that they may use it as a lure to get Ghidorah off Godzilla long enough for him to recover. However, Emma could easily just hop on the Osprey as is the plan, but that's not heroic enough. She sacrifices herself. Totally necessarily, we swear, to give everyone enough time to escape. Which means by the time Ghidorah catches up with her, Burning Godzilla is ready. Huge and hot and massively powerful. He fries off Ghidorah's wings before blasting two of its heads clean off. That's right. Not only is Godzilla powerful, he's sadistic as fuck, slowly tearing pieces off Ghidorah one by one so the monster can feel what it's like to be completely annihilated. That taken care of, the rest of the monsters surround Godzilla. Even Rodan, who I guess survived that light prick. And they all bow to Godzilla, the king of the monsters. I wonder what monster taxes are like. But what's this? An after-credit scene! How would you look at that? One of the hunks of Ghidorah did survive that attack. Maybe he'll come back. It's kind of unnecessary in this genre. Plenty of times kaiju are killed off in very permanent-looking ways, only for some clone or ghost or distant cousin to come for a sequel. Anyway, that was Godzilla, king of the monsters. Actually, it did feel like a legitimate Godzilla film. In both good and bad ways, as the movie was huge with spectacle and a half, showcasing all kinds of monster brawls with loose explanation as to exactly what's going on, and it spends more than a little time focusing on the human characters that we really don't care about. Or at the very least, I don't. I feel like the human characters are a step down this time around, as the only guy that really got any major focus was Mark, and boy oh boy was this motherfucker a Gary Stew and a half. Kaiju films tend to have your handful of experts who have plans, the plans fail or partially succeed, and it all comes together somewhere around Act 3 when the people learn to put aside their differences or what have you. Here, though, it's all Mark all day. He's the expert in everything, because he is. Mark's a wilderness photographer, wildlife expert, marine biologist, computer scientist, mechanical engineer, military technician, madman of skill beyond anyone around him, and it really stands out. Unfortunately, while we spend so much time focusing on how amazing Mark is, pretty much every other character is neglected. Jonah is presented as bad guy, but hardly gets any screen time to do villain rants. Emma is instrumental, but can't develop much of a character because she's got plot to set up. Dr. Sarazawa, well, I hope everyone watched the last movie and got attached to him there, as the further I go along, the less and less fleshed out everyone is. Despite the Mark problem, though, the movie as a whole is a lot of fun and flows like a kaiju film. Plans change drastically and suddenly as massive events just come at you with little in the way of explanation. That's not a negative, it's part of the campy fun of the genre. At the end of the day, Godzilla, King of the Monsters might be the first American-made Godzilla flick I've seen where I can say, yeah, this is a proper kaiju film right here. Its heavy focus on the humans is hurt by its heavier focus on the humanest human of them all, but the movie knows to pull back from that and showcase giant monster brawl after giant monster brawl, where the stakes are high and the spectacle doesn't disappoint, coming in at 3 considerably civil colossal creatures out of 5. And it makes me think, oh, there might actually be somebody in Hollywood who gets it. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado. And remember, never, ever, ever go treasure hunting in Antarctica.
MagicInspiration.com.
Open the shields.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's bring him in for a beer. You out of your goddamn mind?